Hawks fans, it has been a week since Trae Young has officially been traded to the Washington Wizards, and the Atlanta sports landscape took a major facelift, and now we take our sights to Jalen Johnson. This is his team now, and you should be excited. The Jalen Johnson era has started, and we have multiple reports from different NBA players, past and present, saying that this is his team now, and one specific player even went so far to give a major player comp that I believe we should all pay close attention to. This is going to be a major situation here in the Atlanta area. I hate that we did not take the time to pay attention or to give credit to what is about to happen, and I cannot wait for what we have going on here. Now, before we get into all the news and information today, this video is brought to you by Kalshi. Now, when you download Kalshi using the link in the description below and enter in the code DIGESTNBA, you'll get $20 when you trade your first 100. Now, Kalshi is the largest prediction market in the United States. And on their platform, you can trade yes or no on real life events, anywhere from news, music, politics, elections, really anything that you can think of. And whether you're in Georgia, if you're in Texas, California, or New York, really anywhere else across the country, Kalshi is live in all 50 states. Now, for most of us sports fans, we can trade on game outcomes, playoff chances, player performances, all on a regulated market where you can cash out anytime. Now, according to Kalshi, we can see that the college football playoffs is wrapping up, and Indiana has a strong 74% chance of winning the title. And then, of course, if you're a Falcon fan, we can see that Clint Kubiak has a 45% chance of becoming the Falcons' new head coach. So this is a chance for you to get in where you fit in. It's genuinely a smarter way to use your sports news knowledge, and you can close on positions whenever you want. Just download Kalshi with the link in the description, and don't forget to use the code DIGESTNBA to get your $20 when you trade your first 100. And again, I'd like to thank Kalshi for sponsoring this video. Now, of course, this is going to be a major update today. I want you all to pay close attention. I'm going to run through a few different audio clips of different people that have said what they had to say in regards to Jalen Johnson, because this is ultimately Jalen Johnson's team now. Now, here on Hawks Digest, we have spoken about the potential that Jalen Johnson possesses, even going back to last year when Jalen Johnson had the injury that really put him out for the remainder of the season. And the Hawks, of course, they were in contention for the playoffs, ended up falling and slipping back into the play-in tournament. And unfortunately, without Jalen Johnson, the Hawks exited the play-in tournament quite quickly, losing back-to-back games in the play-in tournament and, of course, ultimately being exited out. But I definitely have some clips here where multiple people, past and present, have said that, you know, this is Jalen Johnson's team. Now, of course, again, last week, Trae Young was traded away to the Washington Wizards for Corey Kispert and CJ McCollum. We've got a lot of different NBA players who have been vocal about that, saying that that was a crazy move for the Atlanta Hawks. That the Atlanta Hawks never gave Trae Young the tools to be great or whatnot. Either way, that was a very polarizing player, let alone a polarizing situation. Feel how you feel. Definitely let me know in the comments how you felt. Ultimately, I'm still taking you guys' comments about, you know, Trae Young and why you feel as though him leaving is either good nor bad. But that's besides the point. Now, going through what I've seen here, of course, we first have Derek Fisher. I don't know why his name skipped me. Maybe it was the bald head. But anyway, Derek Fisher, he spoke out first, basically speaking his 2 cents on the Trae Young trade as well as Jalen Johnson.
Timing was right. Like, yes. and this was good for both teams, and I think ultimately for Trae Young. Like, sometimes you just need a change of scenery. Washington isn't going to go as far as the Atlanta Hawks maybe had the potential to, but it was time to turn the page. Jalen Johnson is now the franchise cornerstone piece in Atlanta.
And I do believe that Jalen Johnson is now the cornerstone piece of Atlanta. He's the largest name that we have here. And also, too, we knew that Jalen Johnson was a rising superstar. Again, we noticed how the team played with Jalen Johnson in December of last year and in November of last year, and really the first half of last season. We saw how Jalen Johnson added to the team and how he was a major presence for the Atlanta Hawks. And so this was all, again, this is all the praise that we knew Jalen Johnson needed, but it doesn't stop there. Of course, none other than LeBron James, the king. Why does he have a do-rag on? I'm sorry, I can't. He makes it so easy for me to do this, but anywho, I do appreciate LeBron James when he does speak. He oftentimes gives a lot of credit and kudos to the Atlanta Hawks. He definitely said at the beginning of the season how the Hawks were a major sleeper team, how a lot of teams in the Eastern Conference as well as the NBA are sleeping on the Atlanta Hawks, weren't paying attention. And then LeBron James even comes into this situation and he speaks highly of Jalen Johnson.
What about Jalen Johnson? Like, what's the ceiling for this guy? I mean, he can score at 3 levels, incredible athlete. He's
like I mentioned Scottie Pippen, man. And obviously he has a long way to go. But as far as the talent, you look at a guy with long arms, 6'9", 6'10", runs like a deer, super athletic. He's improved his outside touch, but like you said, putting pressure on the rim, his ability to rebound, he can guard 1 through 5, you know.
And again, the player comparison that he said, of course, if you weren't listening, well, you should have been listening. But the player comp that he said was, of course, Scottie Pippen, arguably one of the best shooting guards or forwards, shooting guards / forwards in the NBA history, one of the best in history. Played next to Michael Jordan, and for somebody to give that player comparison, I think is a major kudos to how good and how much potential this guy has. Now, again, I do feel as though it is time for the Hawks to move out of what the potential that they do have into actually being in that potential, actually living in it. The Hawks do have an opportunity to make a major leap. Again, you guys should be excited. Hawks fans, you should be excited. I know that a lot of you were upset with Trae Young leaving. A few of you were actually happy that Trae Young has exited or made his exit from the Atlanta Hawks. But you all should be happy with Jalen Johnson stepping up and becoming the #1 guy. As a matter of fact, when Trae Young was not playing this season due to a knee injury, Jalen Johnson stepped up then at that point. LeBron James actually went even further to talk about Jalen Johnson's ceiling.
I love his ceiling. I don't know what his ceiling is, but I know it's not low. I think it continue to I think it's very high, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens. I think he's on pace to be an all-star in the East this year for sure. You know, there's no doubt about it.
Yeah, big time all-star. I mean, say what you want, argue with your mama, but this guy is going to be, not even a potential to be, he is going to be an all-star this season. Just off of these pictures alone, I mean, he's constantly dunking on somebody. He lives above the rim. And like LeBron James said, he's able to play position 1 through 5. You dig what I'm saying? Depending on the player, depending on the night, he knows his role. He's able to be in those positions. He's able to lead this team, and you don't hear much from him. Vocally, I do feel as though you do not hear much from him on social media. You don't hear a lot from him off of the court, but when you see him on the court, you feel his presence. I'm going to show you really quickly. Again, 35 minutes per game. These are his stats so far this season. 35 minutes per game, 23 points per game, 10. He's averaging a 23 and 10. You know what I'm saying? 8.2 assists per game, about a half a block. 1 steal per game. Again, 52% from the field, so he's extremely highly efficient. 37% from the 3-point line. And LeBron James did say that
before we get into all the news and information today,
his game up. Oh, there we go. But LeBron James did say he has stepped his game up when it comes to his outside shooting. He's increased his touch. He's been able to better himself. And again, let me know how you feel in the comments. What is your level of excitement? How do you feel in regards to Jalen Johnson stepping into this major role as the number one guy, or as Derek Fisher has said, he is the cornerstone of this Atlanta Hawks team. And the expectation here in Atlanta is still playoffs this season. Though we did get rid of Trae Young, I do feel as though the overall goal, the overall outlook is still playoffs. We don't feel as though now that Trae Young is gone, oh, well, we're going to be in the play-in tournament again. No, I think the expectation has risen just a tad bit. I feel as though fans and players alike definitely feel as though it is still playoff. It is still in the top 5. If they could get to the top 5, I think things can definitely look up for the Atlanta Hawks, and they could potentially make some major noise in the playoffs this season. Again, my name is Walter Pollard. This is Atlanta Hawks Digest. Please make sure that you guys stay tuned and pay close attention these next coming weeks going into the trade deadline, which is February 5th. Make sure that you guys stay tuned in to Hawks Digest, because the Atlanta Hawks do plan on becoming major players still in the trade market, and things are definitely looking up from here. Again, my name is Walter Pollard. This is Atlanta Hawks Digest. I'm signing out. Peace.